Alright, what's up, people? My name is Alex Willkie, and this is... Oh shit, it's not the Willkie. Shit. Big intro. Today I want to talk about some of the support that I've seen since starting my little video series, and people are asking a lot of times why am I doing this, what's driving me, and what's the reasoning. I have a shit ton of reasons for doing it. My biggest question to you would be, why not? Like, can you think of a really bad reason to do it? For me, I think the hardest part is not necessarily what the keyboard warriors are gonna say over the internet. The biggest part is getting over the fear of those closest to you. It could be your parents, girlfriend, brothers, sisters, those closest to you. They're gonna be disappointed, or it's really like when you see them in person, what they're gonna think, what they're gonna say. Deep down, I feel like I'm almost scared like they're not gonna like it or they're not into it, and I've really moved away from that. I'm more focused on just saying fuck it. It's really relieving when you just do it anyway. In my family values video, I talked about my grandfather and how he was in the war and how he studied and he lived in pretty much a closet. How interesting would it be for me personally to go back and look 50 years ago, 60 or something like that, when he was grinding, when he was 22, or when you see his reaction to the things that are going around him with the war, or how he felt that he survived in one of the most dangerous positions, and then what he was doing with himself now that he has that second chance at life. That he doesn't have to be a potato picker or poor or anything like that in a third world country. Wouldn't that be interesting to see? That'd be amazing if I could look back. So a big reason for doing this is it allows me to show future generations what I did, what I was like, what I was thinking, what my behavior was. This immortalizes that behavior. This immortalizes who I am at this moment, because it'll be awesome to look back with grandparents, or, you know, if I'm a grandpa or whatever, show future generations what the world was like, how I interacted, what I was trying to do to make myself better. Could you imagine looking back? A distant relative, like think of like 200 years in the future, a distant relative for you, and they might have been having a pivotal moment in history and they did something amazing. Imagine seeing what their life was like and like who they were. If you've ever read a letter from the 1900s from somebody in your family, it just feels like they're alive today. It's also amazing for myself because I can look back and be like, shit, man, I remember when I was that hungry, young 23-year-old grinding, making videos, learning editing and all this shit I shouldn't be able to do. Things that school didn't prepare me for. I remember in college, I wish I had written things down. I wish I had a little book and sell it one day for all the crazy stories my teammates and I got into. It was actually insane, some of the things we did. But I find myself forgetting a lot of those crazy stories. You know, it felt like every weekend or every month at least there was 5 new crazy stories that happened, and I lost track of those, and I wish I had more, or had those still. When I see people or talk to people or see things that remind me of those, like names of the people involved or something like that, I can remember, and this helps me with remembering in 50 years, 60 years. And also, this experience also builds credibility for people, or people who are looking at me or wondering. Imagine like handing in your resume. All the resume says is your name, your volunteer hours, where you went to school, but that doesn't paint a good picture of who you are, right? And you can't go into more detail than 1 or 2 pages. It doesn't paint a picture of what your behavior is, what your actions lead to. Can you execute? It just says that you've done these certain things, but how you did it, how long did it take? This is something that I'm able to show people and just say, hey, look, like, this is who I am. Like, put it on the business card, check me out. I'm not hiding anything. And I'm real when I say this shit because, you know, I'm filming this right now. I'm in, you know, my parents' house. I've got $20,000 of debt. I'm a bartender and server. Like, this is just my life, and I'm just gonna try and make it better. And I want to show that. This also allows me the experience to learn about the internet and learn about social platforms and how they develop and what mannerisms happen and how people receive information and consume content. And it allows me to build my own platform that, you know, I might not ever use, but it gives me the opportunity to reach out to other people, and also for them to, maybe if they like what I'm doing, to reach out to me. I've already had about 6 people that have hit me random messages and it made me feel really good, just excited about what I'm doing and wish me encouragement. And some that were like long lost colleagues or workers, and they're like, I'm gonna help you with what you're doing, and thanks Katie for that, I'm loving it. That's just the power of the internet, and when you don't use it, you don't have that opportunity. I'm just literally opening a door for myself. And in opening that door for myself, I give myself freedom of choice and opportunity, because if I ended up building this big, cool, but I'll have opportunities that come that I can engage with that might not necessarily need me to be there to do. It could be internet marketing and things like that. A big reason also is I want to show people my journey, how I'm doing it. Like I just literally have the mindset, I'm like, I'm just gonna be successful, very successful. I know what my perfect day is, and I'm still reverse engineering how I'm gonna get there, but I know I'm going to. Like I feel it. I know I'm gonna do it. My parents make Rum Punch, 17 years old. I made up a brew myself, and I kept it in a bottle. And they're like, oh, we'll save this for grad. And I was like, no, we're gonna save it for something huge. Like, I don't know what yet, but it's gonna be like first million, first 20, I don't know. Like maybe I launch something crazy and that's when I have it. My mom's like, oh, but it's gonna go bad by then. I just said, well, fuck, I'm gonna go blind, I guess, drinking this thing because that's what I wanted to do. And so I'm gonna have a sip of this, so. But I can also show how I develop as a person, physically, because I'm gonna be huge. No, I'm just kidding. Emotionally, the connections I make, how I develop spiritually, if I become, spiritual or learn to meditate, and also financially. People don't like talking about finances. The amount they make a year is like some big secret. I don't understand that at all. I just want to be transparent in what I do and how I live my life, and I think that's what's going to give me the most freedom is when it's all out there. Because people hide what they are or who they are all the time. It felt like 5 years ago almost that being gay as a politician or athlete was like a career ender and it was a big deal. It's like, fuck that. Like, are you kidding me? I want to show anyone who wants to watch it. Nobody wants to watch. I'm gonna watch when I'm 60 years old, so it doesn't matter. I also find that when you admit to things or when you just own things, it takes all the power out of it. This is like a high school example, but like if you're like checking some girl out and you're like, damn girl, and then one of her friends is like, oh my god, you just looked at her ass, weren't you? If you're like, what? No, what? No, I didn't. People are gonna like see that. It's like, it makes the situation weird and uncomfortable. And if you're like, yeah, I don't know, like she's attractive, yeah, I was, like, everyone's like, oh, all right, yeah. I'm not worried about that aspect of people judging me, or I've got nothing to hide. There's no, in my transparency, there's no chance for somebody to say, I got lucky, or I didn't prepare for an opportunity to come. Idiots have ideas all the time, but I'd much rather be the executive who strives himself on execution, because I'd rather do that than just have ideas all day and that's it, right? I'm here. I had this idea for months of filming and documenting, and now I'm here trying to do it. It took me a long time to actually start to do it, but I'm actually very excited that I did, because it feeds my creative side. I feel like everybody is out of touch with themselves sometimes because they don't realize that sometimes they don't want to hang out with people. Like I don't. When I came back from college all the time, I'd just hermit for like 3 days and not talk to anybody, and then I'd go out and then see everybody. I felt kind of overwhelming, but that's what I did, and I'm a very extroverted person, so this feeds that side that likes to talk and laugh and make some funny jokes, pretty much be the Fresh Prince, but fuck, we're almost there, right? And then that being said, it builds my skills. It makes me feel uncomfortable. You know, when you gotta do something, but you avoid it by doing other things that you would rather not do. For example, I cleaned my room. Like I made my bed, I never make that shit. Like cleaned my desk off, cleaned everything. From me being uncomfortable, I'm able to learn, I'm able to grow, and I'm able to be better than I was the day before. And that's another reason why. On the more offensive side, I feel like I almost need to combat all the bullshit coaches and courses and fucking basic shit that people are coming out with. Gary Vee talks about a lot of times, people are always trying to just sell, and they're worried about those short-term gains, and they're not really providing any value to anybody. And I feel that, and if I haven't built a big business, why the fuck am I gonna teach you a course about goal setting or about, like, I don't know, how to build a brand? Like, I haven't done any of that shit. Like, I don't goal set. Like, I don't do that. I think about it in my head, but I don't do that personally, and it's never led to me doing something successful. Like if I was 30 years old or something, I've been doing it for 20 years, since I was 10 years old, then I could be like, all right, yeah, for sure. This is what I did. Something I've always realized is a lot of people on Instagram love to show off their highlights, short-term achievements. It could be high GPA, it could be they sunk a lot of baskets in a game, and people always like that shit all the time. They just love it. They just eat it up. And it feeds almost the need that you need to put another achievement up just to show people, because you get that self-gratification. The thing I've found that gets the most likes, let's say, the most engagement that people really want to see and get engaged with, are posts that almost tug on your heartstrings. Like when somebody being genuine about it, not just like feeding you lines to get likes, but is actually being genuine and wants to share that with whoever wants to see it. I shared a picture with my sister on my Instagram, and I wrote this little paragraph. When I was doing it, I just woke up and I was like, yeah, I wanted to post for a while. And as I'm like writing it, editing and all that stuff, and I'm like tearing up because I don't talk about that shit. Never have. Those videos helping me to do that. But it's me showing that I'm genuine. It's not about likes or engagement, big following. It's just me posting my life out there to be genuine and to follow that trail of consistency that I'm trying to put out. Another reason is, from my perspective, the world is becoming more tech driven, more communication driven. There's more ways for people to see into your life. For example, I could probably Google Egypt and find some random, let's say, model or something who has their privacy open, and I could just look into their lives and get like a good grasp of who they talk to and what they do, and the things you do are being documented regardless. Whether it's getting drunk at a party and people video or pictures, or you do something embarrassing and you get caught for it, or whether it's just your activity on social media, your life is being documented regardless. I'd rather just show my stance from my viewpoint on my life. Sometimes people are more or less worried about what everyone else is going to say. The platform might change, but you can't change the fact that I'm immortalizing myself almost, in a sense, showing what I think is going to be my legacy in real time and in real action and with the thoughts I have in my head right now. If you've watched this whole thing, damn girl. But thank you for joining me on my documentation journey of a kid who's 23 years old, just finishing university and trying to find his way in the world that we live in today, 2017. Appreciate it.